What is going on, everyone? My name's Boyd, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the bottom of the map in the red color, playing as Odin. His name is Suppe. Soupy boy. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Thor. His name is New Loki Pro. You can't create a Smurf. This is what you're not allowed to do. This. You can't create a Smurf. Say that you're playing a certain god, and then not play that god. Not okay, ladies and gentlemen. Not okay. But the map is Midgard. The map is Midgard. And we see something a little bit unique here from Mr. New Loki Pro. Throwing gatherers over to berry bushes first here. And having those dwarves chopping down wood. We see the dock coming up. And that's it. Hey, thank you for the 200 bits, Ricky G. Appreciate it, man. Anyways. Soup starting to spam his fishing ship as well. And this is one of those interesting matchups. Norse on Midgard. It's got a lot of different layers to it. Because, for one, defending the water is fairly simple. But two, the more exciting thing is that land with the hyper accelerated fish means you can get going super fast with Ulfsark. So you can overrun your opponent incredibly easy with Ulfsark. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see both players throw down like 5 Longhouse and make tons of Ulfsark this game. A couple of longboats just to defend, and see how he goes. But New Loki Pro here, doing something interesting. He's got a lot of gatherers out right now. Only 3 dwarves. And he's probably going to be able to skip the ox cart here. 700 gold, 750 gold on Vubli. This doesn't quite work on EE, unfortunately. But you can skip the ox cart until classical age, which saves you a lot of resources. And we see these fishing ships coming out so far. We've got 6 fishing ships for New Loki Pro, and Soup also has 6. So both players roughly the same, except Soup's had to get an extra ox cart here. So we'll see what Soup's going to do. It looks like he's going forward here. He's taking villagers off of wood, going to make his temple and going to attempt to go to the next age. A lot of the times, I used to do this with Norse as well, where I would get a specific amount of wood, and then I would transition those wood villages onto food and then try and get to the classical age really fast. But I think most of the time you can get these classical age timings by doing it a little bit more cleaner without the transition off of wood onto food, and you have more fishing ships at the end of it. But we'll see if this is going to work for Soup. Heimdall against Thor can be very, very tough to deal with, especially forward temples and just getting aggressive in general against Thor. But he does have a back gold mine. He's got this dwarven gold mine with an extra 750 gold, extra 250 gold than you're used to. So he should be okay for a hot minute here. But Soup will be able to take down a lot of what New Loki Pro's got here. And I imagine Soup goes Heimdall, right? And he is going Heimdall and start spamming those her. So he's taken everything off of wood. So this kind of indicates he should be making more fishing ships, right? And he does. This is very, very interesting here. It's almost like a fake rush, if you will, as that's a thing. The other thing that you could potentially do here is fake Heimdall rush and then put a dock up over here and then immediately start sending archer ships in to harass the water. So you attack on the land and then they overreact to the land attack and you start hitting the fishing ships and just pull back as an idea. Well, we'll see what Soup's going to do. New Loki Pro going through Freya. No real surprises there. The Raven flying overhead going to spot the disastrous base that is going to be attacking into with the back gold mine. Not really a lot that can be done here. as he sees that. There is Heimdall, so taking down the town center is possible. We see the longhouse coming up here. Soup has a good amount of fishing ships. He's got 11 fishing ships. To New Loki Pro, he's got 16 fishing ships. And he's just going to hit the next age and then want to get his purse scene out as soon as he possibly can. So we'll see how that's going to go. Ursa coming in with the Einherjar should easily take this Sentry Tower down. One longhouse coming up, and that's going to start spamming out those Ulfsark probably. And a second longhouse coming down, but we are going to be blocked here for just a second as we need to see a house coming down somewhere on the map. But Freya comes forward here for New Loki Pro. He can immediately start looking for this Valkyrie to move forward and hit some raids somewhere. But now, Soup pushing in here. He's going to try and take down this house. And that's a smart move there. Is New Loki Pro is going to get pop blocked if he loses that house there. As he's got another one coming up, but that's not going to help him out because he's going to need another one after losing the house. Kind of. But we see a longboat coming in. That's going to come in and try and harass some of Soup's position here. And do we see... What do we see? We see a throwing Axeman Hersa coming in for Soup. So this is a very, very strong army composition here. The Hersa tank a lot with 143 HP. And the throwing Axemen are very, very useful against literally everything that the Norse players can build. We see the villagers getting pulled back, moving into this Snowy Pine area, and Soup, he's now going to try and make a push in onto this gold mine. The Dwarven gold mine is expired. This tower here is not a threat because we have Undermine, and the throwing axe are going to be doing a lot of damage here in this location. We do see the Undermine coming in, the Valkyrie trying to harass, but sending one Herfser back to hold on. And we'll see, can Soup push in here? So the Undermine does hit multiple different buildings in a line, as you see this town center taking some damage, the longhouse taking some damage. But the unit composition here from Soup is very, very potent against what Loki Pro has been forced into making here. These Ulfsark should get taken down very easily. So long as Soup controls this Einherjar, that's all you have to do in these fights. Make sure that throwing Axemen are attacking units, and then the Einherjar blows his horn. Look at that damage the throwing Axemen do as New Loki Pro has to retreat back. And then this is back into use range. Like 15 seconds after the horn is over, we see a beautiful forest fire here doing a ton of damage, forcing these units to regroup. We see the Hersa taking down the Valkyrie, though this Einherjar ready to blow its horn again, but not doing so. And all the units get cleaned up here. What a play from New Loki Pro. That forest fire coming in absolutely clutch. The Ulfsark doing so well, but more units coming in for Soup. Never going to end. We've got this longboat about to get sniped here. 14 HP. Soup realizes it, leaves, and immediately sent his fishing ships back to work here. One throwing axeman does fall on the retreat out, but New Loki Pro is alive and well here with his gold mine in the back. Problem is, he doesn't have a decent wood line, so he can just go basically pure Ulfsark Hersa here, try and get surrounds onto the throwing axeman. But he doesn't have access to Lone Wanderer, so the throwing axemen are a lot better against pure Ulfsark than say like an Odin. An Odin Ulfsarks who have Lone Wanderer, who can run in, get the surround, not take any damage until they actually start attacking. So we'll see how this is going to go as New Loki Pro swinging around the side. It's got all these Einherjar. These are the brutal part about this Heimdall strategy here from Soup. The answer to this is actually to build trolls, but we never ever see the Norse players going through Forseti in this matchup. The villagers get pushed off that wood line, and Soup is more than comfortable pushing through here as a lot of those Ulfsark are not in the fight. Villagers trying to move over onto this location, and now Soup going for the town center. The Ulfsark swinging in from the side. This Einherjar horns doing so much, but this could be a bit of an overcommit here. There is still another Einherjar who can blow his horn. Nice micro here from the raiding cavalry, dodging those throwing axemen here. He cannot hit those raiding cavalry at all, but does manage to pick one off. One Einherjar does fall, and Soup has to retreat away. from those units here. Another Einherjar joining the fight here, as we've just got so many throwing axemen coming into this fight here. But potentially, new Loki Pro could make some Valkyrie here. He's got a good amount of food, but I think the best option is definitely if he can get to the next age. He should, but he doesn't have an armory. He's got the food income from all of those fishing ships, but no armory just yet. He's got the gold. Gold mine in the back is about to expire, and he's going to need an attempt to sneak a gold mine in. He is going to be able to do that because Soup's Ravens, never mind this, Ravens can spot this. They're just a little bit out of position here. He may spot we can spot a dwarf or something over here at this point. And there we go, moving in, going to check that location out. The dwarves making their way over there, but now Soup is like, I'm just going to kill a talent center. Probably not exactly where he wants to be. He could easily finish the game if he was over here on this gold mine. Now the raiding cavalry coming in here. And the thing is, with the Einherjar blowing their horn, these throwing axemen will actually probably counter the raiding cavalry. They have decent hack armor. They have great hack armor. Excuse me, 30% hack armor. And with the horn blowing, these units go up to like 6 or 7 damage per second, which is basically militia in terms of hack damage, which is more than enough to take out the raiders. And new Loki Pro getting pushed back, and Soup just needs to maybe just send an Einherjar over here, just send something over here. But new Loki Pro is managing to stay alive for this in this moment here. We'll see if potentially Soup going to take down the town center, prevent a heroic age from coming in. We see the armory coming up for new Loki Pro as the units continue streaming in here. But Soup losing a lot of HP to this town center right now. We finally see an Einherjar making its way over onto this location. The horn can blow and hit literally every one of these villagers off of the gold mine. The villagers going to have to retreat here as Soup can move over, and new Loki Pro a little bit short on the gold here to get to the next age. We'll see Soup probably go for a second talent center at this point, which is going to be perfectly good and reasonable. Now the longboat over here has defended Soup's economy. He's only got 12 fishing ship here though. One thing he could have done is just build out a couple more fishing ship and get another dock out at some point. He did have that Hersa that he sent back, but it's obviously in the forward base now. We've got a wall trying to come up, but Townsend's going to get through here, which is going to allow new Loki Pro probably to get this gold mine and then get enough resources to advance to the next stage. He's got a decent amount of units here. The Einherjar have been sniped, and Soup just going for 3 town centers here. Grabs both of the forward ones away from new Loki Pro. So new Loki Pro's got no town centers to work with at this stage of the game. Can't grab any unless he sneaks around the back, and Soup has got great control of this game. The problem for Soup here is that if new Loki Pro, he's got the food advantage here with the extra fishing ships. If new Loki Pro can get to the heroic age, he should be in a fantastic position. The Einherjar have basically all been picked off. So one last Einherjar here, trying to snipe that Hersa. He does manage to get it off, and this Einherjar is going to live for quite a bit longer. If he can live for another 20 seconds, it's going to help out a ton. These throwing axemen doing very, very nice, but without the Einherjar, the army of new Loki Pro will start to feel like it's going to win this one here. 100 population to Soup's 101 population is still spamming out those units, starting to make some Ulfsark here as well for Soup. He has to pull back as these Einherjar aren't out just yet. There's another one for him. As he's got that one, he should be able to win these fights. This throwing axeman going to be looking for a raid somewhere. We'll see what he can find. And now the raiders swinging around, going to be looking to hit these guys in the back, potentially get some raids in and slow Soup down a little bit. See the Einherjar. Oh, unfortunately, casting his special ability there without affecting any of his army, and now the new Loki Pro is getting a beautiful surround here onto those throwing axemen, and this Einherjar is 20 seconds away from being useful again. I mean, it does a good amount of damage, 15 damage per second here, but he needs to make sure that this is horning with his buddies. Got to be in the party together. There we go. Boom, 7 damage there for the first attack, etc., etc., etc. And Suppe is fine now. He's got the town centers. He just needs to get a little bit more onto food. Only 22 villages on food with 3 town centers, and he's still making Olfsark. So it's like if you're making Olfsark from one longhouse, that you need like I think it's 6 villages on hunt, so 8 villages on farms from one Olfsark, and then the 3 town centers is another 15. So he's got about right the amount of villages here if he's making Galliers from all of them. But these villages don't seem like they're being all too efficient here. Now we've got the raids hitting the gold mine in the back here, doing a lot of damage, and Suppe's just got so many resources in the bank. Whereas new Loki, he's going through Bragi. He's going through Bragi. I'm not sure about Bragi here. I feel like if he went through Skadi, he'd get access to Frost Giants, which would completely decimate the Einhjar here. The villagers here for Suppe have to retreat back. And if you get the Frost as well, we'll be able to decimate these villages. These are Safeguard Towers. Safeguard Towers, so huge, so happy, so strong. Now the raiding cavalry coming in here, going to be hitting these villages, doing the best they can. Throwing axemen, pulling back, and snipe these Ulfsark here. Now the raiders moving around, be looking for something to kill here, but not going to find all too much. Armory is now up for Suppe as he wants to get to the next age. He doesn't have a market, but he does have 29 villages on food now, which is exactly what he should have had, maybe more. Now he can advance. He's going to go through Skadi. We'll see if it's going to matter, because like the flaming weapons comes down and you completely find it's like Suppe's going to go up to 5 town centers here. Going to 4 town centers instead of going heroic age when you're against a flaming weapons coming your way. But I guess new Loki Pro is just going for fast Balder here. Exactly, fast Balder. So we'll see if Suppe can hold. He does have Heimdall. He has Safeguard. So these towers, 1,155, 1,237 now with Masons, as Suppe is predicting the Balder coming his way. And Skadi on the way for him as well. So one thing you definitely want to make sure you get out when the Ragnarok hits is a couple of boats to just come in and harass. You want to get those hammer ships in. Just send them in after the Ragnarok is clicked, because there's no way to defend against them, and those docks will fall and the food economy gets completely shut down. It's similar to having siege towers up to the side. When Rag comes, they send the villagers forward. You send the siege towers in. Sorry, to kill off all the houses and the towns, and etc., etc., etc. But now we'll see. Will Suppe be able to hold as new Loki Pro moving forward? More watchtowers coming up here. Do we have an Architects coming through instantly as we hit the heroic age? No, not just yet. I'm surely he'll think about it. Balder comes in for new Loki Pro at 203 population. We see the Frost coming in instantly as Suppe can probably just get Mythic Age himself here, right? Oh, he doesn't care. He doesn't want to beat Rag with Rag, or beat Rag by going 5 town centers. Why not? It's a very ballsy play here indeed, but these units will all pop out and flaming weapons will be able to tear down everything. Do we have that? We've got fortified town centers coming. We've got boiling oil coming in as well. There's more towers are coming up here. There's not really a position you need to push through if you're the Ragnarok player. You want to hit kind of everywhere else, but there's that final town center, and Suppe is going to be able to go up to nearly the same population that new Loki Pro is at. So new Loki Pro at 298, and Suppe is going to be going up to 200. He'll be able to go up to it when fortified town centers comes in. We've got Architects queued up as well. He just wants the ox cart first. As the units coming through, we will see that flaming weapons get cast, as these units should take down these buildings very, very quickly, but still not casting the flaming weapons just yet. Wants to hold on to it for just a little bit longer. Not sure why. There's the flaming weapons. Those, look at these Rag heroes. 25, I can't click on them. 25.52 damage here on the Rag heroes, as he's going to push through and absolutely destroy everything here. Incredibly well played by new Loki Pro here, but Suppe 5 town centers here. 114 population trying to get towers up. These safeguard towers are nothing compared to what the Ragnarok flaming weapons is. We do see the longbow coming through. No attempt at making any ramming ships. So this is going to allow new Loki Pro here to rebuild his town center and get his economy going again. This game is not that close to over at all, as Soup now under pressure on this town center as well. This has got all the towers though, whereas maybe killing this town center might not be a terrible idea here. As we see the gate going down, as Soup's town center is now under threat. This town center has fallen. We'll see if new Loki Pro is going to even bother getting it. He does grab that one there. How are the armory upgrades looking? Full bronze here compared to Soup, who's got bronze mail but no bronze weapons. You don't really need bronze shields as the defender in this situation, but obviously Soup could just get Mythic Age here. He just literally just needs to click Balder. If he has a market, he doesn't have a market. Fair enough. Why get a market? Why try and win the game? Battle Ball's coming out now for new Loki Pro. Does he have a trade? Oh, he doesn't need to. He can just sell food. He's got so many resources here in the bank. Oxcart falling. Rag Heroes retreating away. They can try and snipe these villages here. It's going to hurt a potential Ragnarok from Soup as well. The town center is now up for new Loki Pro. Is going to start making those villages. But so many resources here for new Loki Pro to play with. And taking this town center is going to be huge. But obviously, Super's got tons of resources himself, tons of villages himself. 180 population here. He's still on 4 town centers. This one will go down, but still don't see the market here. For Soup, he just doesn't care. He's just like, I would be surprised if he just went tier here anyways, just to rub salt in the wound. The new Loki Pro retreating away here. Going to turn around and take this fight. So those throwing axemen will do a lot of damage, but he doesn't have the he doesn't have his thundering, what's it called? I always forget. Hello? I have to get it out here. Where is it called? Hunter's Axe. He doesn't have his Hunter's Axe, which is a big help in these fights. But he does manage to clean up a lot of this because he's got the unit numbers here. The throwing axemen do plenty of damage, and all of these units do feel like they're falling. But Fire Giants now coming in to help out. They should be able to take down these throwing axemen very, very easily if they target the right thing. Unfortunately, using the their special ability there onto a Jarl instead of the throwing axeman ball there, they could have possibly all died in like 2 of those hits there. And Super's now making those Drakkar very, very late on those Drakkar, going for some raids, which now can potentially be defended here. As new Loki Pro's got plenty of resources remaining. This town center has fallen. So we'll see if he can grab that town center back. But what a game so far, as these players are getting pushed back and forth forever here. But yes, Soup does still have access to 1 more god power here. Temple coming up, still no market. So much wood in the bank here. You could sell the majority of that wood and have gold and feel fantastic. Spend that on whatever you really want to. But Soup not doing that just yet. The Oxcart coming in here. Villagers dumping into the Oxcart. We see a couple of watchtowers coming up here. Now the Jarl trying to take down these fire giants. Doing the best they can. That's a smart move, making the Jarl, but Soup would be much better off just making frost giants here, because they would be able to completely nullify the fire giants. It's one of the biggest ways you counter, say, Loki is with frost giants, because then the big target units just get nullified and you win. But new Loki Pro just cleans up all of Soup's units there, as the army is just not quite strong enough to deal with those fire giants just yet. Now new Loki Pro needs to think about getting this town center and defending a potential Ragnarok. There's the market up for Soup. And is he going to sell that wood? Or is he just going to hold 3,500 wood? I don't know. You tell me. You tell me. The Pentagon are doing some work here, hitting the economy of New Loki Pro. But he should be fine to just rebuild those things here. We see some towers over here for Suppe as he's holding onto this location. Maybe Suppe doesn't think that trading is worthwhile. There we go. There's the resources we were after. And he is going to. Oh. I mean, Ragnarok here is 100% a victory, but Tira is probably also a victory as well.
Skipan.
This random Ulfsark just chilling. Now Suppe pushing forward. He's going to go... Oh, sorry. New Loki Pro pushing forward. Going to try and take this town center down. Not a bad try here. This is where the Mythic Age is coming through. There's potential here that Suppe... Oh, he cancels the Fimbulwinter. He's moving it into a different... Okay, now he goes for the Balder. He's like, alright. Tier's not going to be enough. Grabbing this town center and a hill fort, though. Is that in line of sight? It's not. It's just barely out of line of sight here. Got heavy infantry coming through for Suppe. And now the medium Ulfsark comes in and he sees the town center coming up. Town center does fall here. And maybe New Loki Pro can make a movement over onto this town center. Take that one down. And Suppe's Balder will get cut. We see more towers coming up on this town center as Suppe realizes he needs to hold on to that one. Villagers coming through. Going to try and prevent this town center from coming up. But heavy Ulfsark are very, very strong here. They're going to try and take down these villagers. Villagers getting pushed back. There are fire giants here. So can he get the damage done? Does send one little attack in. And now he's going to be able to prevent this town center from going up. Nice play here from New Loki Pro to prevent Suppe from getting any more town centers. But while this is happening, Suppe uses that time to get his third back. And there are even some villages here that can be used immediately. And we have a couple more upgrades here still. Look at that. 5,600 wood in the bank for Suppe. He's just like, I'm just going to hold this wood forever here. It's funny that there's one way you can like guarantee a victory right now. Is Ragnarok Wonder. Like right here. And New Loki Pro taps out. He realizes cannot survive against the Ragnarok in this situation regardless. Too hard. Doesn't have access to Hunter's Axe with those throwing axemen. He doesn't have the setup. He doesn't have any upgrades, I don't think. Yeah, no masons, no architects, no fortified town centers. No food economy to boot. And that is the game. Suppe does end up taking it. He goes the roundabout way to get there. The Heimdall rush was so potent. If he just set up on this gold mine, it would have been GG very, very early here. But makes a game of it. New Loki Pro with some nice moves. You guys want to suggest who you think the New Loki Pro is? Another classic Smurf on the ladder. Lots of people love the smurfing. It makes them feel like they're invulnerable to the hate comments. If you ever see Twitch chat and you lose a game, it's you're the worst player ever. If you win the game, it's you're the best player ever. The tides change very quickly with Twitch chat, I tell you what. But if you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.